My boyfriend of 7 years just cheated on me, so I left him with a little parting gift. Story time. I met the love of my life 7 years ago, and I very quickly realised that Steve was the one for me. Now, throughout our relationship, Steve would often reach out to me to ask for some money. Apparently it was often because he was having car trouble or he couldn't pay a bill, and I would literally always help him. And I honestly just saw it as an investment into our life together. And I think over the years I probably gave him about 15 grand. And then after about 4 years of being together, Steve popped the question, is that 15 grand sitting on your ring finger? And then about 6 months into our marriage, Steve tells me that he is having car troubles again. And he said that it was going to be about 2 grand for the repair this time. And this struck me as really odd. This time I knew his car just as well as I knew my own. One night I go out and do a bit of detective work, and I go to look at what he has told me is up with his car. And lo and behold, all the things that were wrong with his car that he said, no sign of it. And at this point I started to spiral. And I promise you I've never ever done this before, but I went and looked at his phone and I typed in £2,000 into his messenger just to see what would come up. And straight away up pops text between him and his ex. Did anyone see that coming? Turns out Amy, the ex, was also having car trouble. Who'd have thought? Amy had recently been reaching out to ask for money. So I go back years and look at these texts. And Steve would just happily send it to her. I became a sugar daddy to my boyfriend's ex. Over the next couple of weeks, I started the revenge. So when Steve would go to sleep, I would start texting Amy off his phone. And I would talk about all of these plans that he had to leave me, aka his wife. And I basically got it to the point where Amy was convinced he was leaving and they were going to get back together. And don't worry, every time I was done with his phone, I made sure to delete the text so he wouldn't see them. And I was having my fun for months. I was slowly watching their texts heat up between the two of them. It got to the point where Steve himself was looking like he was pretty much going to leave me. And to be honest, we didn't have that many assets together anyway because I was finishing up my surgical residency. So I knew that the divorce would kind of be quick and painless, to be honest. So the time finally came where I filed for divorce. I was very generous when it came to our £10,000 worth of assets and we split that evenly, but I decided that I actually did want a little bit more. Now, not only is it assets that are divided up during a marital severance, debt is too. Medical school is very expensive. And if you wanted to get precise, it's £250,000. So since I was the one to pay for your mistress for years, you can now pay for my career.